Investigative reporter Brandon Ritteman was among ABC 10's crew on the ground when the campfire raced through Paradise. 5 years later, Brandon is back in Paradise to continue to tell survivor stories. Brandon joins us right now. Brandon, what has it been like to see this community come back together?
It's just unbelievable, Alex. There's been so much joy, and I really didn't expect that coming up here this week, but people are really coming together and lifting each other up in a very real way, and that's despite the fact that they're surrounded by reminders. I mean, there's damage all over this town. You can see it wherever you go. Empty lots are the prevailing feature. The homes, the debris has been scraped away down to the earth like this. You can see some signs of rebuilding. There are occasionally lots that are under development or have been built, but the fact is that the town's only about a third of the way back to recovery if you go by the numbers. The problem is the numbers just don't tell this story.
The campfire destroyed 14,000 family homes in and around Paradise. 5 years later, Sam Gronseth is finally finishing rebuilding his.
I figured I would probably be in my house by now. I'm not, but it's close.
Sam's new house is 90% done, standing right where his old house burned down. For now, though, he sleeps in here.
I have been in the trailer for, just about 4 years.
The fire burned all his mementos, his books, his favorite musical instruments, but just like everyone who lived here November 8th, 2018, Sam had to grieve so much more than just things.
I'd say the number one thing that is a loss is the community. Whereas there were 300 people within a half mile here, now there are maybe 75.
These days, about half the people building in Paradise are newcomers. The rest lived here before it all burned.
Yeah, this is Hilltop Diner. Pretty good place to eat.
Woody Culleton was one of the first to rebuild.
I texted you this morning at 4 o'clock. It's been that way for 5 years. I don't sleep. I sleep 3 to 4 hours.
For some, PTSD makes it hard to stay asleep. The brain turns hypervigilant, geared to stay awake and working, ready to survive the next sudden catastrophe.
No, get out of your cars! Let's go!
Trauma also pushed people to stay away.
I know of half a dozen people that moved away, bought homes in other states, and have come back.
Are we gonna make it alive to Chico?
Time can heal, but it can't heal everything. Many survivors are simply priced out of Paradise. They need their settlement money from the company that sparked the campfire, pg&e.
The way that the pg&e monies have been distributed is tragic in a lot of ways.
The power company pleaded guilty to 85 felony charges for recklessly starting this fire, but pg&e also used federal bankruptcy protection to escape paying the full cost of the damage.
What would it look like today if PG&E had just made the decision that we're going to take care of everything and pay 100% of everyone's damage?
There would be less trailers in town. There would be more people in town.
More of your friends would be here.
Yeah.
A lot of people haven't got their money for PG&E yet.
The more I stayed here, I saw all the rebuilding, and it just made me want to stay.
The people of Paradise, Concow, and Magalia didn't have a choice. They didn't deserve this. 85 of them died in the campfire. More died after, grief-stricken. But up on the ridge today, you'll find people who choose to be here.
I'm trying to not let the things that I lost take away my joy. So it's, being alive, making it out of the fire.
All right, so awesome to be here, and thanks for coming out on a Monday.
They choose not just to survive, but to help each other make it.
We're all gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine.
The campfire scattered tens of thousands of survivors. Whether they choose to rebuild here or just stop by for a visit, the rebirth of this community on the ridge is an invitation for all of them to come home.
And as we're back up here, I mean, people are really celebrating what they do have, what they have accomplished in the last 5 years. They'd like this community to be further along in the recovery than it is. They're going to miss people, of course, who haven't been able to make it back up here. But, you know, every time a new restaurant opens or a new store opens its doors, people really come together and rally, because it's just that one more reminder that we're getting that much closer to normalcy, to having the community be functional again. And that's something that has been very slow to develop over the last 5 years, but means just so much to the people here. Alex.
Brandon, you reported on the campfire the day it happened. What's it been like for you returning to Paradise this week for the 5-year mark?
Yeah, this fire changed my life. Pedro Garcia, my photographer, and I got stuck. We didn't have a way to get out at one point. And that experience filled me with a lot of empathy for what people went through here today. So as I meet people, you know, they really want to connect. Everyone here wants to understand your fire story, right? And so I don't have the experience of losing my community or, God forbid, my loved one. But I do share an understanding of the trauma and then the aftermath of that trauma. You know, the stuff we just told you about with PTSD is very familiar to me. I've learned a lot about grief and what it takes to navigate it. And I had just this unbelievable moment about 200 feet that way. There's a house going up, and it belonged, it's the lot that belonged to Steve Bradley's grandmother, Colleen Riggs. So he and I actually came over here today. We've talked to him a bunch throughout our years of investigative reporting, and he saw the new house going up where his grandma's house was, and something clicked for him. It was hard to describe, but I just watched him attain this level of closure that he hadn't had in the last 5 years. And he very quickly was just overcome with joy. You know, it was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. He could imagine somebody living happily in this place where the worst thing that happened to one of his family members in his whole life happened. His grandma couldn't make it out. The power went out that day. She wasn't able to open her garage door, so she burned in the house. And he has the space now to hold that truth. Yes, this happened. This happened. And also I'm alive, you know, and I get to move forward. And that really resonated for me. That's something I'm feeling too today. And I'm just so glad that I was able to come up here and spend some time with these folks. This place will always be a part of me, even though my first day setting foot here was the day it burned down. Alex?
Brandon, I know it's hard for you to not get emotional because you have truly dedicated years to covering fire after fire, meeting all the families destroyed by them. You have worked tirelessly to hold the powerful accountable. And I know that many people in our community appreciate you just taking the time to listen and get answers. So Brandon, thank you. And we'll see you back here soon.